Hey, it's Carrie. So I today am doing the classics book tag, and it was actually created by a blog. I can't think of the name. I can't think of the name for it, but I found the link and it's down there in the description, as well as Jen Campbell's video, which I saw and inspired me to do this too. So her video's down there, and she also puts the blog link down there, but I'm also putting that one down there too, and all the questions are down there also. So let's get started. The first question is, name a classic you didn't like, and I'm saying Persuasion, but I'm not really saying I didn't like it. I'm saying that I didn't finish it. Because this was the first classic I started reading, and the way it was written wasn't written like what today's books are written like. She used words for things that we don't use, and in some cases they might have been dirty to us, but they were normal to her when she wrote them. And it was, in some parts, it was hard to figure out what was happening in the story. So I got through the first half of it, but I'm still holding on to this. So I know I can start it over whenever I want. I don't know when I will, but I know I can. So that's why I'm holding on to this, so I can start it over. So I'm just saying I didn't finish it, but whether I liked it or not, I just don't know. So don't mind my dog, and I don't know if you can hear here outside, but there's garbage trucks going by, and I can hear them, but I don't know about you. But question 2 is, what is your favorite time period to read about? And mine is the 1920s film industry, because I love film history, and I have some books about novels. I have some fictional novels about that era, and they make the scene look so glamorous and classy, and all the people, and I love reading about that kind of thing. So I like reading about the 1920s Hollywood kind of thing. It's just one of my favorite types of eras to read about. Question 3 is your favorite fairy tale, and I'm saying Beauty and the Beast, and I have the movie here because I've always loved this one. Because it's about learning to love someone despite their appearance, whether it's negative or not. It's learning to love them inside, and Belle loves books, and I love books, and I've always loved Beauty and the Beast, and it was one of my favorite animated Disney movies from the 90s, because I grew up with those movies. And so I've always loved this one, and I still do, even as an adult. Question 4 is, what is the classic you're most embarrassed about not having read? And I'm saying Pride and Prejudice, because I talk about Pride and Prejudice all the time, and I want my niece to read it. I really want to see my niece read this, and I've never even read it. I talk about this like I have credibility about having read it, but I haven't. And it seems like one of the most classic of Jane Austen's books, and I just never read it, and I really, really want to, and I don't know when I'm going to get to this, because I do have a lot of books to get to, and I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I really do want to read it, and once I do, then I'll feel like I've officially accomplished it, and then I'll officially have credibility about it and be able to discuss it. So question 5 is, what 5 classics do you want to eventually read? And I'm gonna say, since I've sort of read the first half of Persuasion, I'm gonna go with the other 5 of Jane Austen's books, and that's including Pride and Prejudice. And maybe I'll read Emma and Sense and Sensibility, Northanger Abbey, Mansfield Park. I'm sure I'd like to get to those sometime in my life. And I know that's 5 books right there, but I have 2 more. I also want to read Wuthering Heights, and I just got this yesterday. I was I went to the bookstore and I decided to get Wuthering Heights, and so by Emily Bronte, and I want to get to this sometime, and also the Scarlet Letter. I wanna read this one too, and it's so yeah, that's I know that's more than five, but there's still books I want to eventually get to. And I don't have copies of the other Jane Austen books except Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion, but I do want to read the other ones. Number six is what is your favorite book, or um, what is your favorite book that's based on a classic? And I'm saying the Jane Austen Book Club by Karen Joy Fowler, and this is the movie tie-in version because it was also a movie, and from like 2007, I think. And it was really cool because it's about six people that start a book club discussing Jane Austen stories, and each of their lives sort of mimic the books that each of them had chosen. And it was really interesting how that was written, and it was a funny book. It was kind of a sad book. It was like sentimental in some ways, and and the lives of six main characters mimic the lives of Jane Austen's characters, and that's just really interesting how that worked out. And I thought it was a really good book. Question seven is your favorite movie based on a classic, and I'm saying The Great Gatsby, and this is the one from 2013. I've seen the one from 1974, but I'm saying this one, and because it was the first one I saw, and I love the acting and the costumes, and Leonardo DiCaprio was in it, and how can you not love a Leonardo DiCaprio movie? And it's just really good. I think it matches most of the book. It hasn't like changed everything, but they seem to pretty much match up with how the book is written and how the movie was written, and in many ways, but not completely. But despite that, it's still a really good movie, and I love it. It won two Oscars, and I think it was. I saw it in 3D when I saw it in theaters, and I thought it was really good. Number eight is the worst movie adaptation of a classic, and I'm saying The Great Gatsby, but the one from 1974, which I mentioned a minute ago, because it wasn't bad. It was all right. I mean, Robert Redford was in it, and he was really handsome in his day. But it was slower paced, and the cinematography wasn't as clear as it is now. And it's and there was scenes of Myrtle Wilson in the movie. If I'm trying to remember correctly, so bear with me here. There was a scene in that movie with Myrtle Wilson that I don't recall being in the book, and it was played by Karen Black. And oh, sorry if you can hear the clock ticking. But anyway, it was a little slower paced, and didn't follow the book how I had remembered it. And because I read the book before I saw that version of the movie, and I wasn't into it, and it seemed to sort of go a different way than how the book went in. If I'm trying to remember that version correctly. But that's why I love the one from 2013 much better. The other one, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was what it was, but I don't think I was that into it. Number nine is favorite editions you like to get classics of, and I have these Dover editions here, and Dover publishes books that are really new. And what I like about them is that they're kind of thin, and so I like thin books. And what they also do is where the chapters. This is another thing I like. Normally when you start a new chapter, it's on another page, but as you can see, a chapter starts in the middle of them. And I don't know if any of you knew that about Dover books, but I kind of like that it's like this in here. This is turning into the Jane Austen book tag, isn't it? I think there is a Jane Austen book tag, but I'm not going to worry about that now. And so because the chapters kind of start in the middle of the pages, and they make the book appear thinner, and the chapters aren't as long as other chapters, and so I think I like how it works out like that. So if I ever get a classic, I get these Dover Thrift Edition classics just because they're thin and really the reasons I just described. So. Number 10 is the last question, and that's name an underhyped classic you'd recommend to everyone. And I don't know if this counts as underhyped, but I'm saying The Great Gatsby. Just because it's pretty much the only classic I read that I finished, unlike Persuasion. And I think high school students should read The Great Gatsby because they'll get a glimpse of what American history was like, and of those societal norms and beliefs of people too. And I think it would. It would sort of not really teach them that, but kind of show them what it was like. And I know that's not meant for history classes, but at least for English classes, I think teenagers should read this. Although I read it like 2 years ago, but I wish I'd read this in high school. I wish I was assigned it at least in high school, and otherwise I guess I would have read it. And so it's something I think everyone should read, but also high school students especially, just because they'll learn a lot from reading it. So that was the Classics book tag, and it was created by a blog, and the blog is down there in the description, as well as Jen Campbell's video, because she was the video I was watching when I decided to do it, and all the questions are down there too. So I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.